All right, the other big election tonight was over just about, 15 minutes after the polls closed tonight. Bill Lee will be Tennessee's next governor. News 4's Kim St. Onge has been at the watch party all night there. Kim, you just talked to Lee.
Yeah, you know, he says he is ready to get to work day one, even addressing people tonight who did not vote for him, saying he wants them to know he cares about them and their family, and he wants them to be proud him as his next governor. Lee took the stage here behind me around 8 o'clock, and keep in mind, that is about an hour after polls closed here, surrounded by his family, saying he's humble, so grateful, and congratulating his opponent, Democrat Karl Dean, on a good race. Lee got loud applause. You can probably hear it there when he thanked his wife Maria and his kids for their sacrifice, his wife campaigning with him in those 95 counties and 95 days. I asked Lee about the first 3 things he wants to do in his first 90 days in office.
I want to work directly on areas around economic development, particularly in rural communities. I want to work on criminal justice reforms that would create safer neighborhoods, and I want to work on improvement in our education system, particularly a focus on vocational and technical education.
All right, so I talked to a man. He calls himself a longtime friend of Bill Lee, and he says about 13 years ago, Lee came to him and says he has this call from God that's telling him he needs to serve as the governor of Tennessee. Of course, that calling 13 years ago, now a reality. Live in Franklin, Kim St. Onge, News 4.
Well, this race may have been over 15 minutes after the polls closed, perhaps, but it took the Democratic candidate here, Karl Dean, almost 2 hours before he eventually conceded defeat. They were hoping against hope that the big cities, Nashville and Memphis, Chattanooga, and the other cities throughout the state, which lean toward the Democratic Party, would come through and perhaps give him a victory, but at the very least make it a more competitive race, but it was not to be. So when he took the stage with his family and gave that concession speech every candidate hates to do, he was very, very inclusive, and it was kind of a unifying message as well. So what's the future for Karl Dean? He says right now he just wants to go home and sleep, spend some time with his family, and take a vacation. So it's a big question mark what he does from here on in. Tom?
Can certainly understand the need for rest. Alan Frio tonight, thank you. Governor Bill Haslam quick to congratulate his fellow Republican, saying he is a man of character and is confident he will make the right decisions to keep the state moving forward.
All right, we want to get a quick comment about the Senate race tonight. Can't you believe this election was decided actually during the primary?
Yes, I think with Bill Lee and Karl Dean, that race, I think Republican primary voters did an excellent job of picking a candidate that could do very well statewide. The business experience, they kind of channeled Donald Trump there, but certainly with Bill Lee, a lot of compassion and talking about issues. And in a red state, you get a candidate with a high favorable, it's just very hard to lose right now. And Bill Lee kept that lead, didn't fumble, and move forward.
An unbelievable leapfrog, though, effect. So quick, his career. Right. He just seems to have risen to the top so fast.
He did. Well, he's gone from business and volunteer work to the highest office in Tennessee. And I'm sure there's going to be a learning curve. And he's got some, Tennessee's doing well, but there's big issues, and he's going to, I'm sure, work to try to address them.
A lot of people in the media are really happy he won. Here's why. Bill Lee. You can't mess up that name.
Nice, easy, and symmetrical.
Thanks.